Heyo, it's me, Hyper Savage, and today we're going to be doing a flip through of my DIY calendar from 2023. Now I got this at Michael's. So here it is. It does stand. It has like a little thingy that unfolds and it stands on, so you could have it out all year. I personally didn't have space to have it out, so I would color in and put it away, but it was still a fun thing to do. Let's go ahead and get started on the flipping through. So if you don't know, it came with a little like ideas or reference sheet for all the months here. I'll go ahead and show them each time I turn the page, I guess. And it came with acrylic paints and a paintbrush. I used acrylic paints on January. That is the only time I used acrylic paints because some of these pages were way too detailed for me to do acrylic paints in. So I did a nice cool colored thing here with some shines on the trees. Here's what their image looked like there, and everything did have an outline around it too, so it was very like hard to look at when I was first doing it. And then we have February, and here is their February. It's pink and stuff, and I made mine rainbow. And this was with, I don't know if it was with watercolors, my Neocolor 2s. I think it was watercolors because it looks a bit smoother than my Neocolors do. And you know, it is a textured mixed media paper. I think it's just watercolor paper, so it did take to this paper very well. Here's one of my favorite ones, is March. I did it in Posca pens, and I added the grass and this other flower in the background. The original does not have the other flower in the background, and they did a orange, like typical butterfly monarch type, and I did a, I don't know what I did. I probably looked up a reference and then threw that info out immediately. But yeah, this is one of my favorites. Here we have April. It is one of the heavier holiday themed months, unfortunately. I do have thoughts and opinions about that. I'll just like say it at the end though. And it is like an Easter theme. Here is what theirs looked like. I did mine in pastel colors, and I made the bunny pink and like did unrealistic colors here. And I did this in Neocolor 2s. Here is May. I did this with chalk pastels. It's very textured. I don't hate it. I still do like this. I think I did a pretty good job with blending and stuff. And here we have what theirs look like. It looks like they put theirs like in a shadow, like it's under an umbrella or something, like at a table. And I didn't outline this one either. I think it's one of the few I didn't outline. Just kidding, here's one more. And here we have June. It's super bright and in watercolors. Again, I didn't outline it. I think I just like didn't like how it was bleeding everywhere, so I didn't want to outline it. And here is what theirs looked like. So I chose a sunset, and they have theirs at like daytime. And I have like this washi tape around it. I don't think I ever did this again because the washi tape didn't like to stick to this paper. But it's like of a sun in the washi tape. It's hard to see it because it's so pastel. Here we have July, and I think this is either Sharpie or other alcohol-based markers. I am not 100% sure. It could have been either, but yeah, I remember it soaking up, being really dry feeling when I was using the alcohol-based markers on this. And here is theirs. Theirs is a bit more pastel, and I did mine more bright. Here's August. This was done with super tips and colored pencil, and I did an outline with glitter. You can see it in the light, like reflective and stuff. I can't remember what pen that was though. And here is their August. I had a hard time telling the difference between what was clouds and what was not, and it looks like I colored it in reverse from them. This one's up there in one of my favorites. This is September. I think I used watercolor inks, and then I outlined it with my thin Posca markers. Now when I say thin, I mean like super thin. But yeah, I really like how it looks, and it like hurts my eyes, but I love it. And here is what theirs ended up looking like. They have a more obvious, like natural looking scene here. And here's October. This was done in inks, you know, because of Inktober. Oh, and I really like how this one turned out too. After it dried a little bit shiny, not as shiny as some of the other things that I've done with the inks, but it's not a bad amount of shine compared. And they went with like a more pastel-y way, and oh, they have black and white pumpkin too. That's cool. Here's November. I did this in Sharpies and probably Crayola's permanent markers as well. And I gotta say, it took a while, but it wasn't like the worst. And I also remember that secret tomato that I colored there. Here is what theirs look like. There's actually like their metal is colored like really realistically. That's interesting compared to the rest of it. And here we have December. I did this with my Neocolor 2s. And here is theirs. They did like more shiny and realistic color. And they didn't even care about the pattern on the cup. Like, how rude. So my thoughts and opinions on the DIY calendar is I like that they provided a medium to go with it. That was cool, but it was not really the medium for this in my opinion. I think they should have provided watercolors or something, because this mixed media paper is definitely just watercolor paper. I have Michaels's watercolor like pages too, where they did a pre-printed design just like the calendar and they provided watercolors, and it works a lot better. But again, I think it's nice that they did provide a medium, so you had to start, you know? So another thing I want to mention is that this little like reference guide thing, inspo, whatever you want to call it, was all digitally colored. I don't personally have a problem with that because I strayed away from what the example was most of the time. But other people do want to just straight up copy, which is fine. You know, I don't have a problem with copying what, you know, the reference is. It's just that because it's colored digitally, you're not going to get the same outcome as if you were to paint it with acrylic. Because they provided acrylic, they should have made it look more acrylic, in my opinion. Second, some of these designs were way too intricate for the acrylic paint. Like this one, there's all these lines and details, and all of these lines were here, and most of them got covered up because I was doing acrylic. Now, some people might be able to get all the detail in, but I certainly could not. And for this being like a more affordable like art kit, I don't expect it to be highly detailed as this particular one was. There was a couple other that were like super detailed, like this one here, but I made it work because I didn't stick to only acrylic paint. Another issue I had was when the months were themed after the holiday. I don't really celebrate most of these holidays that are like the mainstream holidays that most people do celebrate. I don't enjoy holidays. It was just a little disappointing that they had like Easter and Christmas, you know? Those are not the only major holidays, and those are like the ones I got represented. I'm not gonna fault them for that. It's just I personally would have liked a more neutral calendar because you don't know what I celebrate. But you know, it was up to me to decide if I wanted to do it or not. So again, I'm not really like holding it against anybody that there are holidays in a calendar, because that is normal. So overall, I did have a lot of fun with this. It was fun to like have something to look forward to coloring each month, and I didn't have to like make it up or anything. So if you know, find this out in the wild for next year, I do recommend it if you are interested in it. But just keep some of the things that I said in mind. About there are holidays, there are fine details, it comes with acrylic that may not work with it. And the paper is definitely like watercolor paper and not acrylic paper. But it's finally done, and we can move on with our lives. This was a whole year of me coloring in a calendar. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to check out the process videos of me coloring in the calendar, you can go ahead and click the link here. And if you want to catch up on anything you missed, you can go ahead and click the link here. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to do all the cool YouTubey things of comment, liking, and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!